Welcome to Mixtape Videos. We're continuing our rankings of the top 10 players at each position, and this week we're ranking the top 10 centers. Make sure you watch our top 10 point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, and power forwards videos to see who we rank as a top 10 in those positions and to hear about the criteria we used for these rankings. We've included a link in the description to a playlist with all of those videos. But for now, let's get started with the top 10 centers. Number 2, blocks. Drafted by the Denver Nuggets, his defensive presence helped propel the team from being one of the worst defensive teams in the league to one of the best. He won the Defensive Player of the Year award 4 times and is top 30 all-time in defensive rating and defensive win shares. In Atlanta, Mutombo further solidified his status as an all-time great by averaging nearly 13 rebounds and 3 blocks. His longest playoff run came in the 2001 season, where he matched up against Shaquille O'Neal in the NBA Finals. He held his ground, averaging number 9, Wes Unseld. From one dominant rebounder to another, Wes Unseld was a beast on the boards, averaging 14 per game for his career, including an amazing rookie season where he averaged over 18 rebounds per game and won Rookie of the Year and MVP. Unseld is 6th all-time in rebounds per game, 12th in total rebounds, and top 20 in rebound percentage. He wasn't much of a scorer, but he didn't need to be. His defense more than made up for anything he lacked on the offensive end. He has the 7th highest defensive rating ever for the regular season and the playoffs. And it's not like Unseld had much of a size advantage over his opponent. At 6 feet 7 inches, Unseld didn't sport the towering height of players like Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Bill Russell. No, he was just strong and determined. Wes Unseld was also a great passer, averaging nearly 4 assists per game for his career. He won a championship with the Washington Bullets in 1978 and was awarded Finals MVP honors. Number 8, Patrick Ewing. As is the case with so many New York stars, Patrick Ewing's legacy is clouded by disillusionment. Always a bridesmaid and never the bride, Ewing's legendary career is not always recognized as such. However, he most definitely left his mark on the game. He's 12th all-time in blocks per game, 7th in total blocks, and is top 20 in defensive rating. Ewing may have come into the league with a reputation for defense, but his growing offensive game is what helped him develop into an all-around dominant player, averaging nearly 23 points and 10 rebounds in 15 seasons with the Knicks. He won Rookie of the Year after averaging a near double-double with 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game. As mentioned at the start, Ewing had some solid playoff runs, but with Hakeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan between him and a ring, the Knicks just couldn't get it done. New York fans will probably always have mixed feelings about Patrick Ewing, but there's no question that he was one of the most dominant centers the league has ever seen. Number 7, Moses Malone. Moses Malone was given the nickname Chairman of the Boards, and rightfully so. He was a dominant rebounder, averaging 13 or more rebounds 9 times during his career. That puts him at 5th in total rebounds, 15th in rebounds per game, and 5th in rebound percentage. He was named League MVP 3 times and won Finals MVP in 1983 after averaging 26 points and 18 rebounds en route to a 4-game sweep of the LA Lakers as part of the famous faux Sixers playoff run. Malone set several rebounding records during his career and put up some monster stat lines. He wasn't always the tallest guy on the court, but he was strong and crafty. This led to him also being a dominant scorer, averaging over 20 points a game for his career. In fact, he's 8th all-time in total points. Number 6, David Robinson. When the Spurs landed David Robinson, they had one of the worst records in the league at 21-61. In Robinson's first year, he led the Spurs to the greatest single-season turnaround in NBA history at the time, with a 35-game improvement and a record of 56-26, mostly due to his 24 points, 12 rebounds, and nearly 4 blocks per game. A couple of years later, he won Defensive Player of the Year after averaging 12 rebounds and 4 blocks per game. After the 94-95 season, he was awarded league MVP after averaging nearly 28 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game, and leading the team to a 62-20 record, along with a conference finals appearance. Robinson is 4th all-time in blocks per game, 6th in total blocks, 4th in defensive rating, and 10th in defensive win shares. After suffering a few injuries and a terrible season, the Admiral was partnered with Tim Duncan and went on to win 2 championships. He's one of only 4 players to have a quadruple-double, one of 5 players to score 70 or more points in a game, one of 2 players to win Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and MVP, and is the only player in NBA history to rank in the top 5 in rebounding, blocks, and steals in the same season. Number 5. Shaquille O'Neal. With a deadly combination of height and weight, Shaq could dominate the game pretty much any time he wanted, and with 4 rings, 3 finals MVPs, and 1 regular season MVP, his place in history is pretty much indisputable. He's 6th on the all-time scoring list, 14th in total rebounds, 8th in total blocks, and 10th in total win shares. At 7'1" and 325 pounds, there wasn't really anyone in the league who could match Shaq physically. He overpowered opponents in the low post, night in and night out, averaging 27 points a game on nearly 58% shooting during his best years in LA. He is the only player in NBA history to record at least 40 points and 20 rebounds in a game at least 4 times, the only player in NBA history to win the NBA scoring title without making a single 3-point field goal, an impressive feat when you think about it, the only player in NBA history to record at least 60 points and 20 rebounds in a game, and holds many franchise records for the Lakers, Magic, and Heat. Shaquille O'Neal, along with the next 4 players on this list, also show up on our top 10 greatest players of all time list, so make sure you watch that video as well. Number 4. Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain was basically the original Shaq, just better. With career averages of 30 points and 23 rebounds per game, he's 2nd all-time in points per game, 1st in rebounds per game and total rebounds, and 2nd in total win shares. He's also 5th on the all-time scoring list. Either way, he was dominant. Aside from the famous 100-point game, he won 7 scoring, 9 field goal percentage, and 11 rebounding titles. He even led the league in assists for a season. He's the only player to average at least 30 points and 20 rebounds per game for a season, which he did 7 times. He probably would have also won the Defensive Player of the Year award a few times had the award existed when he played. Number 3. Bill Russell. It's kind of hard to argue with a guy that won 11 rings and 5 MVPs, right? Bill Russell was so crucial to his team's success that the NBA decided to name the Finals MVP trophy after him since it didn't exist when he won all those championships. Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell are numbers 1 and 2 in rebounds per game and total rebounds for the regular season and the playoffs, with Wilt winning the regular season and Bill winning the playoffs, but the difference is less than half a rebound on both sides. Russell is also number 1 in defensive win shares for the regular season and 9th in total win shares for the playoffs. He was the true leader of his team. He went 11-0 in elimination games, averaging 18 points and 30 rebounds in those games. Wilt put up incredible numbers, but Russell was always right behind him, leading his team to 11 championships in 13 years. In an era marked by high-octane offenses, Russell infused the game with defense and forever changed the perception of how to win. Number 2. Hakeem Olajuwon. When you play in the same league as Michael Jordan, it's hard to stand out, and Hakeem Olajuwon is a perfect example of that. While in Houston, he averaged 22.5 points, 11 rebounds, and over 3 blocks per game. He's 3rd in blocks per game, 1st in total blocks, 13th in total rebounds, and 10th on the all-time scoring list. He's also in the top 15 in defensive rating. Those are impressive numbers. Hakeem is the only player in NBA history to win the NBA MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Finals MVP awards in the same season. Hakeem was a complete player. He could defend, rebound, and score. His signature move, the Dream Shake, is one of the most deadly moves ever. He used that move to dominate his counterpart, dropping 33 points on Robert Parrish, 40 on Kareem, 35 on Shaq, 41 on David Robinson, 45 on Karl Malone, and 30 on Patrick Ewing, all in the playoffs. He's 12th in total rebounds for the playoffs, 3rd in blocks per game for the playoffs, 1st in total blocks for the playoffs, and 9th in points per game for the playoffs. He won 2 rings, 2 Finals MVP awards, 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, and a regular season MVP award. Number 1. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. There is so much you could say about Kareem. He's number 1 in total points, number 3 in total rebounds, and number 3 in total blocks. He has 6 rings, 2 Finals MVP awards, and 6 regular season MVP awards, a record. Unlike other big men like Wilt Chamberlain and Shaquille O'Neal, who could simply bully their way to the rim, Kareem killed you with finesse and skill, using his signature sky hook to score over defenders. But it wasn't just about offense for Kareem. He was also a good rim protector, averaging 2.6 blocks per game for his career, putting him at 9th all-time in blocks per game. The list of Kareem's personal records, achievements, and awards is endless. What Kareem was able to do as a player, year after year, even into his late 30s and early 40s, is nearly unmatched. So that's it, our top 10 players at each position. Make sure you follow